Welcome to the Delphi Priestess, also known as the Water Dragon, also known as Sacred Cross, Occult Priestess. Welcome to the Delphi Priestess, also known as the Water Dragon. Okay. Just making sure the audio is good. That I am Welcome to the Delphi Priestess, also known as the Water Dragon, also known as Sacred Cross. All right, so I have a beautiful guest. You guys should know her already, Cristina. This is Cristina and I, episode 7. 7, guys. She's here to tell us about her spiritual journey and much more today. She'll take the floor. Go ahead, take the floor, Cristina. Let us know.
Okay. I did want to let you guys know off to start, I do go by Nomadic Shaman on Instagram, on TikTok, and YouTube. So feel free to check those out. But with that said, I am happy to be here. It is always a pleasure to be here. And this is the first, maybe not the first time that we've done it at nighttime, or I don't know. But anyhow, I wanted to just talk about a little part of my journey through this whole spiritual awakening, upgrade, activation, and things of that nature. So just to start, I know initially, especially going to this journey with spirituality or just undergoing spiritual awakening, that it's all new. Okay, it's very new in that you don't have someone, or I can't speak for everyone, but I'll speak for myself, where as you're going through this, that you can go to somebody to get guidance or direction, at least physical, as far as like, how do I navigate this? How do I traverse this? Oh, this happened. It's kind of like you're literally thrown into the water and it's like, figure it out. At least that's how I felt. And then
Very much.
yeah, and when you speak to spirit, they're like, oh, it's not that bad, You're like, damn near drowning, and you like, help me with the lifesaver. And they're like, oh, you got this, you got this. Like, it's not that bad. We'll jump in, you know what I'm saying, if you need it, but we need for you to figure out how to swim. And that's essentially what this whole spiritual journey feels like. So as you're figuring it out, you're also figuring out yourself, you're also figuring out your spark, you're also figuring out you're also unpacking and unlearning a lot of the things that previous to your spiritual journey. You're discovering things within yourself. And I'll speak for myself. I grew up as a practicing Catholic. Okay. So to go from being a practicing Catholic and then devout Catholic, now, I'm heavily like immersed into this, spiritual world, which feels foreign to everything that I knew. That can be scary in itself. And so, what I want to share with this part of my testimony is to let you guys all know that despite what you're going through as you go through it, regardless of how difficult it may seem in the moment, that as you go through it, you will grow through it on the other side. Okay. It will, this journey is not for the weak hearted. It will break you down to build you up like a better version. And part of that has to do with, which I'm going to touch on, the breaking down to build you up. You will experience and go through a lot of spiritual warfare. Okay. What I'm going to speak about today, however, has to do with spiritual warfare, but not just any spiritual warfare, because all spiritual beings who are living a human existence, at least on this earthly plane, will experience a version of spiritual warfare. However, not everyone experiences witchcraft, or at least being at the receiving end of that, and the psychic attacks and the spiritual attacks that come with it. And initially, when I was going through this experience, I fell into victimhood. I'm like, what's happening? All this stuff is happening. Spirit, why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you warn me? They're like, oh, you'll be okay. Everything's going to be okay. And I'm like, I'm getting my ass handed to me here because I'm still trying to figure out what this is. And on top of that, I'm having to also to defend and protect myself when undergoing spiritual attacks or psychic attacks. And the one thing that I learned, in the very beginning, like I said beforehand, I fell into the victim role. But the one thing that I learned is that all spiritual warfare, but for the sake of this conversation, we're going to address witchcraft in the form in psychic attacks, spiritual attacks, and how it relates to spiritual warfare. All of this is meant to build you up, okay? And is also meant to show you that, one, you are much more powerful than you give yourself credit for, and that you are much more stronger than what you give yourself credit for. And it's truly a process of learning self, okay? Learning, what you thought you could handle versus what you did handle. What you thought you could traverse, overcome versus what you did overcome. And also on the other end is also upgrades and activations as a result of these attacks. And it's funny because the Most High has a funny sense of humor, because it's more like, I'm going to teach these people who think that they're in control to come against you and throw everything at you. And although you're in the middle of it and you feel like you're attacked, and technically you are being attacked, but the higher perspective is, this is an opportunity to show you, because it's a mirror. It's an opportunity to show you where your weaknesses are versus where you could be stronger in, where you need to work on, where you need to do a lot more shadow work. Because what I spoke about beforehand, through my experience, I realized that the only way that witchcraft is effective, more specifically, I'm speaking about dark magic or black magic, the only way that it's effective is because it has to attach to a wound or trauma that is vibrating on the same level. And the individual who sends out the attacks, whether or not they pay for it, orchestrate it, they are your mirror, because they are operating on that same vibration, which is usually a low vibration, right? So they're operating from a low vibration. This is your mirror. Whatever attacks that they're sending to you and it's effective, it works, then that shines a light. You're supposed to use that as a light to show you what you are to work on. Now, when I was in the middle of this, that's the last thing I was looking at. Okay. I was just like, what do I need to do? How do I need to protect myself? And all of that is key and is important. However, the biggest thing was, we're doing this for you. We are, when I say we are, I'm speaking about my spiritual team and my guides. But the sole purpose is for you to learn self-mastery. So a light is being shined on your weaknesses versus your strengths, so that you can do the shadow work and the healing to strengthen those areas. That's the only way and reason why, number one, spell work can actually go through, okay, in order to affect you. Okay, and the reason why I'm supposed to use that in order to grow. Okay. And so that was a whole learning process for me, but there were some things that I wanted to share from my personal experience in the event that someone had gone through it or at least is going through it, or if they're in the very beginning stages and they're lost, they have no idea what's going on, like lost in the wilderness. Because a lot of times you do feel like that. So I just wanted to provide some insight. And one of the things that I had experienced, um, because I'll keep it real, your girl has been attacked all her life. All my life, I had to fight. Okay.
Yep, yep.
All my life. Okay. And I mean, I don't have enough time to tell my whole story, but all my life, I was fighting some type of witch or warlock up in this bitch, unbeknownst to me. Okay. So, but I wanted to share with an experience that I had um sprinkled through the last 5 years. Okay. So one thing that I had an experience, because let me just go ahead and say it, was monitoring spirits. One thing that I wanted to bring about, just so that people know, what
Can you
are,
tell us? Go ahead.
yeah,
I guess you're gonna answer it.
yeah, girl, I'm going to answer, girl. What are monitoring spirits? Okay. So a short, succinct definition would be a person who's in your life who has access to you to gain some type of insider knowledge, with the intent to bring blockages, bring delays. I also say bring chaos and destruction, but there's a reason from that when you look at it from a higher perspective. Um, but essentially, it's to slow you down. Okay. It's to learn how you move, why you move, the way you move. And it's, to gather information. And so I like to share a few examples of how monitoring spirits can show up in your life. Because if you look up previous, some videos on YouTube, you're often here monitoring spirits. They're not effective. If people don't know what your business is, how can they stop it? How can they slow it down? And yes, that is true. That part is true. Um, I'm always a proponent and advocate for moving in silence. However, I also wanted to share with you different ways how monitoring spirits can show up where you're not necessarily vocalizing or sharing information, but still information is being gathered and collected without your consent, knowledge, know-how, you know what I'm saying, or anything of that sort. However, if you practice divination or you have the ability to speak, I want to say speak to spirit, because you can also, the Holy Spirit, Holy Ghost and Holy Spirit is also spirit. Um, then you kind of have a leg up on insight on what's going on. So, anyways, I wanted to share with you at least 6 different ways of how a monitoring spirit showed up in my life. And it's just made me all the more wiser on how to move in silence. Okay. The first would be familiar spirits. So, if you're not familiar with familiar spirits, essentially what that is it's a spirit or entity that's invoked by a witch, warlock, or a magician. That sole purpose, again, is to collect data, is to observe, and is to bring it to its master. Its master would be the individual who conjured up the spirit. Okay, so that's how a familiar spirit who acts as a monitoring spirit, and the familiar spirit can also shapeshift and take the form of insects, birds, also cats, dogs, and everything of that nature. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Another example that people know, but they're not aware of how it's used, is folks who practice divination. I'm speaking specifically about tarot readers, oracle readers, even folks who do birth charts. Now, I'm not saying that they're monitoring spirits per se. However, what I'm saying is if it's an individual who has a certain agenda to bring chaos, destruction, confusion, as well as block your blessings, even attempt to do energy harvesting, and is trying to bring delays into your life as it relates to your finances, relates to your love life, as it relates to your business connections, your romantic, I've said that, your romantic partnerships and connections, as it relates to, your social life, your social circle, everything that's connected to you. What these individuals will do, if they have the ability to do it themselves, they will do it themselves. Most times, I'm going to say most times, other times they are paying, they are outsourcing. So what they will do is they will go to that unassuming astrologer. They will go to that unassuming tarot reader or a person who reads Akashic records, and they will cloak themselves in the person's energy that they're looking to obtain information about or from. So if you are the person that they want to obtain information about, so that they can then on the flip end slow and impede the process of your successes, of your accomplishments and the goals that you have set for yourself, they will either they're being deceptive, but they will come to the reader and either give you their person's information. So in my case, the individual came and gave them my information from my birth chart. So then that's how they learned from the reader what was coming down the pipeline for me as far as goals and successes, as far as accomplishments, the great things in life. And then once they learn about that, now they're off to either paying a practitioner, a spiritualist to do work against that, okay? Or to do work against it so that it slows it down, impedes it, or just leaves or messes with your mental, emotional state so that you don't have the drive, or you're not putting forth the effort and the energy to pursue your goals any longer. So this is another way of how monitoring spirits can show up in your life, where they're obtaining the information, but you're not giving it to them. Okay, it's without your consent that they're obtaining this information, and they're doing it under false pretenses. Other times they will be deceptive, which was in my case, because spirit got a big mouth, or I don't say a big mouth, but they look out for your girl. My spiritual team looks out for me, so they tell me what happens, what's going on behind the scenes that I'm not privy to. But anyways, what was going on in my case is they would cast glamour spells across the reader. Okay, glamour spells across the reader or the astrologer, or confusion spells around the reader or the astrologer, so that now when they're reading the card spread, they're confused on the type of, basically they think that the energy that they're reading is of the person directly in front of them, when it's actually the person who who's the subject, the target. Okay, so, and that's not the reader's fault or the astrologer's fault, because they're unassuming. But as spiritual practitioners, to be able to utilize our gifts responsibly and with integrity, we also have to do our due diligence as far as to check in with our guides and even tap in with that other person's energy. And if it's a matter of letting it sit on ice, before doing that work to be able to tap in so that you have that space, so that you are ensuring that you are not carrying out the work that you otherwise would not want to be tied into. And the reason why I say that is what comes with that is you also share their karma. That may be a different conversation for a different day. But that was information that I received directly from the spiritual courts, y'all. But that's going to be that would be something else that I would speak about. But so that's another form of monitoring spirits. Another way that they can show up in your life, which showed up in mine, was through dream invasion. So they're doing dream work. Either the practitioner is doing it for them or the individual is actually doing dream work where they dream magic, where they attack you in your sleep to tap into your subconscious. Okay, so they're trying to figure out the ins and outs of your subconscious, which is essentially, what drives and motivates us that we don't vocally say, out loud. So that's tapping into your subconscious via dream work or dream magic. Okay. Another example of how monitoring spirits show up would be through astral projection, where they're using the individual or the practitioner would be utilizing their mental and emotional energy, which is part of their aura. So there's the mental body and the emotional body. And they're actually pulling themselves out of their body to travel to you. This is another way of how they can communicate with you telepathically, because they're using mental and emotional energy to do that, mental emotional body, in order to communicate with you telepathically. But what happened to me is they show up right up in my room, and not so much in my room, but they've had it where, where they would watch me, like, just to see what I do day in and day out. Okay. And the reason why they're doing that is to collect information, to record information, to bring it back to them. So then that way they can start doing their work, their spiritual work, dark magic, black magic, to slow and impede whatever accomplishments or goals that are coming for me, or whatever that is that I'm working on. Okay. So they like to utilize that a lot. Okay. Another way would be mirror magic. Okay. So we all know that mirrors are portals. There are other portals, which I'll probably discuss that at a different way. But for the sake of the conversation, mirrors are portals where they'll use mirror magic to tap into basically scrying, to be able to see and observe what it is that you're doing, how you are doing it. And it's just another, it's abusing your gift, but it's another way to be able to observe you and obtain information to impede your process, to slow down your process, essentially figure out what type of magic that would be most effective for you in order for it to work.
Do they use the mirror magic like to spy? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Because it's like,
so they look through your mirrors, you're saying? Like a portal.
Well, they usually use they have to have a mirror, either scrying, like mirror, or they can use water to scry, fire to scry, whatever method, but they're using that to be able to see. So the best way that I like to explain it would be like, what is it? Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? Then you'll remember that part when she was looking through the mirror. She was practicing magic, and I said that in a video that I did, was that why was she looking at it? Because she was plotting and planning. You know what I'm saying? Like one of my favorite songs for these damn karmics is "Stay Scheming." Niggas wanna get at me, girl.
Who sings that?
Rick Ross. I think it's Rick Ross and Drake.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, girl. But that's what it is. It's
Ow.
that's what it is. It's scheming, it's plotting, it's
Yeah.
planning. And I don't want to say it is unequivocally all the time, but the majority of the time, it boils down to jealousy and envy because they're looking at the right hand instead of focusing on their own lane. And they're like, I want that. I'm going to take that. I don't want her to have that. I don't think she deserves that. And the only reason why it would be due to jealousy and envy, the underlying of that is insecurity, okay, which is wounding and trauma. Because if they were high vibing, I mean, shit. All right, girl, I see you. You do you. I'ma do me. You know what I'm saying? And it's all support. It's all, you know what I'm saying? We're all looking out for each other, but it's usually due to envy and jealousy, okay? And it's all rooted in insecurity. Shoot, you can watch Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs for that.
Everything is jealousy.
Boom, 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 boom,
Just
boom.
about
You know,
the human theme of existence, jealousy.
girl, so it's like that's what I was gonna say is just, as far as them, not them, but to covet what you have or to keep you from achieving that. Now, what I will say is, even Spirit told me there's no such thing as energy harvesting. That is an illusion. This is what Spirit told me. They said that is an illusion because they said that the illusion is one, you think you're powerless when you are not powerless. We're showing you, and this is how Spirit likes to teach lessons. Like they like to teach lessons in reverse. So, case in point, if you have low self esteem, they're going to send somebody in who's on the same vibration as you. And usually, when somebody's in the same vibration, they share the same wounding, but it manifests differently. So, they're going to have two people come in that's sharing the same vibration, which is also a way they said this ghost Spirit was telling me that that's true trauma bonding, but y'all ain't ready for that. So, anyways, where two people come in with the same wounding because they're both being magnetized, attracted through their vibration and their frequency. Okay. But it manifests, oh, let me put my hands up here, but it manifests differently, right? But yet the lesson is because Spirit is funny. They like to teach you, well, God is funny. The Most High is funny because he likes to teach you your lessons through in reverse.
She
So I'm sorry. What'd you say?
she likes to teach you.
Okay. She likes to teach you. Okay. She likes to teach you.
Get used to it.
She likes to teach you. I always refer to the Most High, but she likes to teach you your lessons in reverse. So if you have low self-esteem, if you feel that you are unworthy, if you feel that you are not enough, you are going to attract experiences that reflect that, which means that you are going to attract a partner who is going to perpetuate you feeling that because you already felt that way. And the lesson is for you to realize by looking in the mirror, because that person is a reflection of your wounds. Okay. So you have to look at that person in the mirror and be like, I am enough. I am worthy. And peace out. And that is the lesson. That is part of the lesson of self mastery. Now, witchcraft operates the same way. Whereas whatever spells that they pew, 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 that they send out, because not everything hits. Whatever spells they send out that hits, meaning it's effective, it's because it is on the same vibration as a wound, trauma, or pain that you have yet to discover, you have yet to heal, that is untapped. So
What did they
it's
tell you? Sorry to interrupt you. Make sure to tell them the antidote to that. Remember, they were saying meditation can just about
well,
stop some of those hits.
Yes, this is true. But okay, I don't want to say but. Meditation is the way. I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to that, girl. So, but okay, so there's like pew 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 pew. And the only way, this is what my spiritual team had told me. The only way that spell work is effective, that they, because even members on my spiritual team be like, oh yeah, I saw that. I let that go through. You need to learn that. I let that go through. So it's kind of like, not kind of, I mean, shit is diabolical up in this bitch. Is this 18 and older?
25 and up, I tell people.
Okay, good.
25 and up.
Okay, good. Because this is some real shit. So, anyways, this is how it's effective. Okay, this is why it's effective. Because again, it acts as a reflection of, okay, this had affected me. Whatever spell work that they did had affected me. So then you have to look internally and say, okay, what do I need to work on? What areas do I need to heal? Now, a way for doing that is this is kind of difficult, but I'll say it's not difficult. I would say it's usually not for the beginner, but the key is to always be self-aware. Okay, be self-aware so that you can figure out what the anecdote is, and I'm going to go into that. So just to tie it up with a pretty bow. Oh, another one, because I was just about to forget that. So another way that monitoring spirits show up is because spirit told me, okay, another way that monitoring spirits show up is through stalking. If you experience stalking in the physical, because if you're experiencing stalking in the physical, they're also stalking you in the spiritual. Okay, that's another thing I learned. So if you're experiencing stalking in the physical, one example would be gang stalking. Not sure if anybody's familiar with that, but another term for gang stalking is called mobbing. What this is essentially, it is a network of people who work as like, what is it called? One band, one sound. So it's essentially a network of different individuals who have been sourced, contracted, call it what you want it, and to either one physically watch you like your day in and day out to gain an idea of more about you, as far as like, what are your likes, what are your dislikes, what does she do on a day-to-day basis, where does she go. I'm talking about these people walk on foot and will follow you. They will drive in their cars and follow you. Okay, in some extreme cases, let's say they will follow your digital imprint. What do I mean by that? They are looking at your social media platforms. They will go ahead and use or employ the services of hacking if they are not, which is against law, by the way, which is if they're not well versed in hacking. Okay, so they're going to look at your digital footprint. They're going to see what your purchases are. They're going to look into your accounts. All of this has happened to me. They're looking into your accounts. They're looking into your emails. They're looking to your social media. They're looking at your passwords. Okay, it is to be able to gain insight and knowledge of your day to day so that they can figure out or come up with a plotting and planning. Okay, so that they can figure out the best way to come against you using black magic. Now, I did want to make a reference point is that black magic doesn't have to be necessarily lighting up candles, okay, and sharing a certain type of, in sharing whatever certain type of words. Black magic can also be simply gossip, or you cursing people by you speaking on someone's downfall. Okay, that's a way of cursing. Okay, someone. So it doesn't necessarily mean, you're actually doing spell work. Okay, but make no mistake about it. Not only, at least in my experience, not only were they doing spell work and gossiping, but they were actually doing physical spell work. Okay. So, oh, and that I believe that pretty much ties up just different ways or examples of how monitoring spirits can show up in your life. So, just to recap, I did say 6. So, the first was familiar spirits. The second was using divination. So, that's an Akashic reader, okay, or a tarot reader, or even using your birth chart. Because another way with using it, that's why well, you shouldn't be giving out your birth chart information freely, because they also use that to see what things are coming down for you in the pipeline, as well as being able to identify your gifts, your weaknesses, and your strengths to be able to use magic on that, black magic on that, okay, to bring delays and blockages. So, familiar spirits, divination through tarot readers, what was I saying? Birth charts, as well as Akashic records. Okay. Then we also have mirror magic and scrying. Then we also have dream invasion. Then we also have the gang stalking. And then I think I pretty much touched, oh, an astral projection. So those are just the 6 where people are all up in your business, honey, in your business, to see what you doing, how you doing it, when you doing it, why you doing it, and everything of that nature. And again, it's because it's due to jealousy and envy that they utilize that knowledge to be able to turn around and either spread, malicious gossip to try to get people on their side, slander to, oh, and that's another thing. They also use, I think I already mentioned that, glamour spells on the people that they want to help them, so that those people don't really see things for what they truly are. So it's just another way of casting illusions through glamour magic, confusion spells, because these folks who are deceptive are equal opportunity decepticons, okay? So anyways, a way for you, especially as a beginner or intermediate who is not well versed on alchemy, okay, because that's essentially what magic is. It is energy manipulation, being able to manipulate energy, which everyone does, by the way. But
No, don't bring sorry.
yeah, but what everyone does, by the way. But I'm going to share 5 things that have 5 ways that has helped me through, this process of monitoring spirits. Okay, at least initially, would be to pray. Y'all bust out that Psalms, okay? And not only so much, and you don't even have to, I don't want to say you don't even have to be dependent on the Bible to pray, but I will say, because you can write your own, okay? The words are powerful, okay, and transformative. So just as much as you can uplift, you can correct, you can bring down, you can also help you assist to level up in this situation. So one would definitely be to pray. Prayers of gratitude, prayers of affirmation, mantras, prayers of protection, prayers of healing. Okay, that's number one. The second I would say would be fasting. Fasting is key. First of all, fasting breaks spells. Okay. Now, I'm not talking about an intermittent fasting. This is what my spiritual team has told me. You fast for one day, somebody puts spell work on you, that shit is broken. Okay, what I'm saying? But you have to be diligent and you have to focus. You combine that with prayer, you are unstoppable. You hear me? So, fasting and prayer, because fasting requires you to be disciplined. Okay, it also requires you to be aware. So, and you are listening more, you are listening quietly so that you're able to hear your intuition, your wisdom, the Holy Spirit, your spiritual guides, your ancestors, or what have you, to download the information to you. Okay, the third I want to bring into is breath work. breath work is a way for you to alchemize the energy. So if there's dark or negative energy that's being sent, you can simply alchemize it through breath work. There's plenty of breath work videos on YouTube. Feel free to research them. I'm not an expert on breath work. I'm only an expert on what works for me. So breath work.
Amen.
Another key component would be meditation. Now, my spirit guides, and this is the key. This is a key knowledge. It's a key knowledge that a lot of dark magicians, dark warlocks, witches, or anything of that nature. Okay, whatever. But anything of that nature, anybody, and all I'm saying when I say dark, I'm saying people who are intentionally doing dark magic to bring harm. Because there is also another definition of dark magic, black magician, where they're kind of like they do dark work, but it's to avenge the good. You see what I'm saying? Almost like Robin Hood, who stole, Robin Hood who steals to provide for the poor. It's essentially the same thing that I would categorize those dark magicians or warlocks or dark witches who are not afraid to get dark and dirty to avenge and bring justice. Okay. I'm talking specifically.
Go ahead, talk. Give me 1 second because my cat's here. Give me a second. I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
You
All
want
right.
me to pause or do you want me to?
I'm just you're not gonna see me or hear me, but you can continue, okay?
Okay, because
You're all right with that?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'll wrap. Okay, that's fine.
All right, go ahead. You have the floor. Oh, this.
So back to what I was saying beforehand is therein lies, a difference. But the key is, this is like a key, open lock, is that my spiritual team had told me is the key, the secret sauce is meditation. That's right. Meditation. You be consistent in your meditation and incorporating that as part of your spiritual hygiene. And the more that you meditate, the higher that you'll vibrate. Okay. Not only the higher that you'll vibrate, the quicker that you'll vibrate, and your energy is constantly changing. Okay. And when I say it's constantly changing, because you are meditating, now whatever spell work that was originally sent has to also change with that. They can't keep up. So you continue on. They're saying yes. You continue. They said right on. You continue on to meditate and be consistent. You will eventually reach a level of ascension where now the energy, the dark energy that's coming at you through spell work, although it will be done because these folks, they ain't got better, they don't have anything better to do than with their time than just to hate. So they're going to continue on doing what they're doing. However, it's going to be rendered useless and non-effective because the more often that you meditate, you'll vibrate more. So your energy will consistently change. So now it no longer matches the frequency that they had, that you had, or that they had when they sent it out. Okay. And you'll reach a certain level of ascension where now it's just not even phasing you. Which brings me back to the fifth and most important point is healing. Because and I was watching this one YouTube video and she put it in perfect perspective, is all of this alchemical energy manipulation. When I say that, I'm talking about the spell work that people do or that everybody or that anybody does, whether it operates in light or it operates in dark. Whether or not it's like, manifestation, as far as, yeah, these are the things I want to attract, I'm saying, as far as in light for me, or whether it's manifestation On the flip end, when it's being done with negative intent, these are the things I don't want her to have, or I don't want her to have, within her possession. The key is healing. Healing, y'all. Woo! Now, healing takes longer. It's a much more scenic route, but it is pivotal. It is important. It is the reason why we are here, because we are here for self-mastery. And in order for you to obtain self-mastery, you need to heal your lessons. I remember speaking to Spirit, and I'm like, yo, I'm tired of learning these lessons. I'm like, can I get a break? And they were like, ain't no break. Like, the life that you live, some lessons are more difficult than others, but you incarnated here for self-mastery. At least that's one of the reasons why I incarnated. And so it's always going to be a lesson, even when it doesn't feel like a lesson. Because you remember when you were in classrooms and the time or the point where you were learning, but it didn't feel like you were learning because you were having fun. Well, that's essentially what you're supposed to take out of this life experience, this human experience, is to roll with the punches, but still have fun, or make the best of it, make lemonade out of the lemons that are being served to you. But I was told that that is such an integral part, because and just case in point, when it comes to manifesting, if you say you want money and you want money to manifest, you also have to be on that same type of vibration. But if you're coming from a lack mindset or a scarcity mindset, that means you have work to do as far as healing. You are not at that point or level where you can attract money easily to you. You see what I'm saying? So that means you have to heal that in order to be on that level of vibration or frequency to attract money. That's how manifestation works. That's how magic works. That's how even negative magic, dark magic works, but it works like that in reverse, because it's simply, again, a mirror to show you where your weak spots are, where your strengths are, and where you need to put a little bit more TLC, so that once you heal or you fix that, now you've risen in vibration, and that spell work that was sent is no longer, it ain't touching you. It ain't touching you. And so it took me a while to get to that point, as far as like, aha, my spirit's like, we've been trying to tell you. That's what my guys say, we've been trying to tell you. And yeah, they have, but I was, in that all my life I had to fight. And I was fighting, boy. I was fighting. And they were like, we need for you to pause. We need for you to pause so that you can see from a higher perspective, And I'm happy to say that I'm at that moment, but I know that I'm here at that moment now. Your girl has arrived, but I took a lot of punches in the very beginning, and it was a lot of having to figure things out, not knowing where to go, who to go to navigate this process, because a lot of it is individual soul growth. You know what I'm saying? A lot of it you have to learn on your own for yourself, because not other people, I was going to say other people, but where you have other people to come in as a support system and to help facilitate through different experiences that they've gone through previously, and they're in a position to lend a helping hand. Make no mistake about it, this is still very much a solo soul journey. Okay, so I wanted to share that with you guys. And then I also, please keep in mind just the 5 tips, the 5 go-tos, top 5 at least, on how to overcome spiritual attacks and psychic attacks. And once you've gotten a hold on fasting, praying, healing, breath work, and meditation, then you can start incorporating higher levels of magic for those who are interested in healing, okay, for ascending. Okay, so that's my piece.
Wow, that's powerful. They're very much talking to me, to you, to everybody that is gonna watch this today. Thank you for the likes. Make sure to subscribe. I've seen a few people. So I'm just reminding you guys, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Comments is for engagement. Sharing is to share this material. We both download information. We're both channels. We're very genuine and there's no catch. Genuinely, we're learning with you. And I feel in many ways this is like our last go-to to tell you guys, to remind you guys to hydrate, meditate, sun gaze, fast, heal, everything she's saying. And she's giving you the reasons and purposes behind why you should do all of it, because even that is ground truth. Because we have to work our way up to a certain level of work. So I'm gonna be hydrating, meditating, sun gazing, fasting. Because honestly, it feels like a message to me.
That's it. I'm like, hey, anybody who resonates with it, I'm like, hey, take what you need, take what you want, what is it? Eat the meat, spit out the bones. That's where I'm at. But my culture, girl, we eat bones.
Amen. The bone marrow is the best part. What you
you
mean?
know.
Yeah, that's
But
the best
anyway,
part.
yeah, but but it's just like now I can laugh about it, but yo, on some real shit, when it was in the beginning, woo, it was like fighting in the dark. It was definitely fighting in the dark. And my spiritual team is just like, listen, you got to stop fighting, because the only person that you fighting is you fighting yourself. You think you fighting them, you fighting you, because they're showing you what you need to work on within yourself. They're showing you your wounds, your trauma, your pain. You need to fix that so you can level up. This is why you're here. Self mastery. This is why your avatar is here. This is why you were
Ascended
reincarnated here.
master.
It is self mastery.
Yes, self-mastery, because you're ascended master, because you're talking about ways of ascension, which is hydration,
Yes.
meditation, some gazing, so we can ascend again, because we're ascended masters. We come in these physical forms and these as these entities, so we can learn ourselves again to self-mastery, to ourselves.
Girl.
So because we are ascended master. The thing is, they're not used to female ascended masters. They're not used to women writing scriptures or women speaking about a certain level of guru material. And so in many ways, I feel like once a, a certain level of discipline come about for all of us, those of us that are not in the forefront, there's a whole different school of spiritual leaders that are coming online, that are going to be coming online, they're going to be, they're not perfect, but they're very much will resonate with the information that we're talking about, and ready for a change in their life. And because this is bigger than all of us, it's a community, it's a crew, it's a group of women and men, but women and children get hit the most in a patriarchy that is unruly, that's not minding um the women. Even I think it was I'm not, I don't want to get political, but his words were um you can tell the society, what type of society you're in, based on how they treat their women, their girls, their children. So this society we're in is because I digress. My point is that it's time for a spiritual um lead of matriarchy. Hydrate, meditate, sun gaze. That's a whole
I'm with
different
you on
political
that.
stuff. And
I'm
heal
so with
yourself,
you.
self-mastery. Women are ascended masters too. They need to speak of them in the Vedic text, the Torah, the Quran, the Bible. They need to speak of them everywhere. Again, there's women, goddesses, feminine. They need to speak of women. That's what I feel. That's my biggest thing in spirituality. Because there's a thing, it's not just he who creates, it's she, it's they, it's the home, it's the universe. And today it's a divine feminine essence because it needs to bring forth the feminine principles. The feminine principles is creation, love, divine healing, spirituality. Everything that you're talking about is the feminine principles because if they're not cultivated in our society, it's because it has nothing to do with the agenda of the current patriarchy, the society. But under a spiritual ruling matriarchy, or at least a spiritual society, all of that is what they're teaching to children to understand how to meditate. That's like what we're learning now. That's why it's ground truth. Because at our age, we should have been able to do that basic stuff.
You want to meditate?
Hydrate. Yes, meditate. See the truth, you know. That's what they're supposed to be teaching the children, how to meditate. Hydrate, sun
I
gaze.
agree.
The
I agree.
fasting is, you know, for children is, you know, I don't know how that works, but I know that meditation and being able to understand your reality as a gift to be in this physical, but to be stuck in your is kind of like, wait a minute, it's a gift to be here, but then we're kind of stuck because we don't know how to enjoy the realm at its fullest
Mm-hmm.
because we believe we got to go to work, go to school, to pay, to eat, to live. And we don't know that there's magic all around us and we don't know how to fly and move the skies and turn around and disappear and come in and out of existence. We don't know how to do that. So that's why it's going to be time very soon to ascend and know how to do all of that beautiful stuff.
Yeah, I'm all with that. I definitely am. And I will say this is I learn from everything and everyone. You know, personally, I don't feel like I can only learn from one particular book or one particular person. Listen, some of these children here be dropping gems, okay? Unbeknownst to them, they just be dropping gems. And I'm like, I get a download and I'm like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? So I
You can
just,
get information from your crystals. You can get information from the stars. You can get information from within yourself, most importantly, because that's where we want everyone to start looking. We want people to start looking into their hearts, their minds, themselves. That's the whole point of meditation.
that's true. That is
That
so
was like
true.
spirit like just telling them, yeah, you can get them everywhere, but don't
That's
forget to
true.
look inside of yourself
That's
because
key.
there is no one else. Everyone is simply a reflection of each other. So very
That's
much
true.
if you're in alignment with the information that's coming from these two beautiful women, then you know that you're in alignment with our words. And so for we're self-reflecting, we're vibing. And if you close your eyes, and you'll find that the oneness, the unity consciousness is all of us, period. So, and we all have pieces to the puzzle because we like to play stupid games, pretend we don't know ourselves, and come back and go, and come back and go.
Yeah. But you
But
never
it's
know. You
time to
never
rise,
know.
though.
Yeah, you never know, girl. I mean, you could have had a life where um you had the fasting, hydrating, meditation, and sun gazing, right?
Hydration,
Down.
sun gazing, fasting, yup,
Okay, good.
meditation.
I just want to make
They
sure.
tell me every day, so it's like a slogan. Hydrate,
Oh yeah.
so make sure to hydrate, sun gaze, meditate, and fast. Hydrate, sun gaze, meditation, fast, and hydrate. I'm like,
No, that's good because that's how we learn is through repetition. Um, but yeah, girl, I was gonna say that you could have easily could have been, it's funny, you could have experienced a life, whether it's been on earth or not, or another dimension or what have you, where you mastered that part as far as what those four things that you just said, right? Beforehand. And so this one, and now this lifetime or this avatar, is I don't know. I don't want to speak for you, but
No, if you feel it, you tell me
no,
what
but
you
that's
feel.
no, but that's all I was going to say was you could have had another lifetime where you've experienced that and you had that like down packed, and
Yeah, they're
then
saying I've been ascended master. They don't want to show off, but just about every lifetime. That's why I come in perfect this lifetime because it's no fun to come in. There's a you too. We both are ascended masters. We both are like, geez, we're the type as soon as we're born, they could have made it where we ascend. Because we've done it so much, it should be very much imprinted in our DNA. So they're saying this is the very last lifetime we will have to come in because it's like at this point, and if we do come in, it won't be like on this level. It won't, it can't, because it's like we did all of it.
girl, I don't know about
And
you.
it's like we're done.
Girl, I don't know about you, but I ain't coming back to Earth, okay?
Well, your ego says that. Check in with your higher self. What is it
Girl,
your self wants to do?
I'm
It's
done.
saying the same thing. It agrees. It agrees only because, not from the perspective of the ego, because if the ego knew the truth, the ego would think it to be fun to come in. But it's saying that because that the game has been played, it's redundant. It's like watching the movie play over and over again. All right, a different game now, a different game. Um, we come to play pretend all the time. So there's a different like um well, what they're saying actually is exclusive. Like we usually don't incarnate because we're just too old. Like spiritually speaking, we're too old to incarnate. And usually it's not fair for some of like we said, people like us to come in like, ooh, like it's not fair because that's why they made it fair. When I say every time someone would attack me, they'd be like, wait, if she's all of this, why didn't she have this power and that and that? Because I come in fair. I come in fair since birth. We come in fair. We come in fair. Now it's not fair. Now all we do is have to close our eyes again, take the shit seriously again, because we were doing that, but they fucked it up. They kill us. They did this. They did that. We're back in fruition. So we're gonna hydrate, meditate, sun gaze, and fast. Fuck around. I'm not gonna tell it to them because they always wanna. But don't worry, you'll see. When shit starts popping off, you're gonna be like, oh shit, Melissa's doing her work. Yes, because I'm just about tired of a lot of stuff that I'm not gonna get into. So it's real what what this goddess is saying. Those are her downloads. Anything else you want to tell the people?
No, I think I talked enough. Spirit is telling me, bravo, they're clapping, bravo.
They said that they love that we big up each other. Yes, bravo.
Bravo,
Woo-hoo.
that's what it should.
Sisterhood,
That's what it should be like. You know what I'm saying?
sisterhood, sisterhood in our hood.
That's what it should be like. Always support, encouragement. You know what I'm saying? If there's any ounce of competition, it should
There's
be.
jealousy. If
No,
there's
I was going to
competition,
say
there's
that, but
jealousy.
it should, if there's going to be, because there's a such thing as healthy competition where, you're like, oh, well, if you're losing weight, I'm going to lose 20 pounds. And it's kind of like to push the other person. I
Yeah,
don't,
again, like constructive criticism.
yeah, I don't disagree with that. But then to be on some diabolical shit, bullshit, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
it's
Where,
diabolical, girl. And then
yeah,
I gotta come out of character. Like, y'all don't really want
I'm
me to come out of
yeah,
character.
where you know what I'm saying, where there really is no true, I don't want to say true, but I'm just like, well, it's kind of tough for me to explain because of the stuff that of what I know, but I'm just saying, all I am going to say is that I'm all about, support and encouraging and healthy, competition. But I also realize, due to the nature of um, the lessons that we learn is usually through resistance. I understand. I understand why things are played a certain type of way. Otherwise, um, people wouldn't be, as human beings, people wouldn't be more open or receptive to better themselves or growth. Oftentimes, how we learn is unfortunate. Most times our biggest lessons come through resistance. And when I say resistance, is opposition from what your intuition or your soul is telling you. Anytime you go against what your intuition is saying, it is resistance and opposition. Now towers got to come in to show you all the signs that you missed, okay, that you turned a blind eye to, and that you can no longer ignore, because now you need to focus on self and to grow past that, you know? So,
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
yeah.
We're gonna wrap it up. Thank you so much for your message. This is episode 7, Cristina and
Episode
I.
7.
So this is wonderful. Check out all the episodes. I might put the link to all the episodes here. We'll see. Because
Yeah,
I have a
we will.
lot that's on default. Like right now, if you look at the YouTube, you'll see like a whole bunch of links under this video. So I'm like, should I? We'll see. We'll see. Um, but yeah, just check out all the links under all my videos. I have to update a lot of my contact information and all the videos. I have an 800 number for consultations, for sessions, for a lot of stuff. So does my girl here. Go ahead, big up
Yeah,
yourself.
y'all check me out. I am on TikTok. I am on Instagram.
Give them your TikTok.
I will. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Instagram. I am on YouTube as Nomadic Shaman LLC. Okay, Nomadic Shaman LLC. Girl, I almost forgot. Yeah, and so please check out my pages for updates. And once my site is up and running, my services will be displayed on the site, and I will have them also posted on my social media page. So feel free to check out your girl.
Perfect. If you give me well, whenever you have your links, I could put the links below to your
Okay.
website on here. Maybe that'll be episode 8, 9. Whenever you're ready, let me
Okay.
know. I'll put it on here.
No
All right,
problem.
guys. Thank you so much. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share these videos. Do comment. Comment is engagement. I do want to answer your questions. You could just ask me questions right here, blatantly. Nothing rude. I will block you. Nothing crazy. I will block you. It has to make sense, or I'll block you. Thank you so much. It's just that simple. Just be courteous. We're very laid back individuals, and most people, like, not to make this drawn out, but most people take very laid back as, oh, there's no boundaries. No, there's boundaries. We're just laid back. Um, so thank you for everyone who's been here. Thank you for my current subscribers. Thank you for everyone who has been this journey with me, who's been subscribed to me for 4 years. To me, 4 years is a
Wow.
big deal because, you know, I know there's people who've been on this for 30, 40 years, but I'm only but so how old anyway. So I'm not gonna get into
Please,
it.
that's still an accomplishment, girl.
So yeah, it's been a
Definitely.
journey. So
Kudos to you. Yep.
it's a journey. Thank you guys so much. I thank you, Christina, for being here and sharing your time, your words, your energy, your effort, your everything, because there's a lot that comes from you to be here. So I appreciate it from your team, your ancestry, our, our spiritual vibration and unity. So
Yeah.
all right, guys. Thank you so much. We're gonna be out right now. Let me stop the stream. All right, guys. Bye.